Hi again then guys, and so we've got another GranTurismo 6 top speed tune for you today, and this time it's for a severely underappreciated vehicle, which is actually one of the quickest vehicles in the game for its power, and it's the Honda or Acura HSC Concept. Both models are exactly the same price, same spec, so it doesn't really matter which one you buy. Unfortunately you cannot paint either of them, which is kind of a shame, but there you go. So, I've gone for racing soft tyres. For suspension, you want to reduce the ride height to 80, front and rear, springs to 750, dampers to 4, anti-roll to 5, camber on 2 with neutral toe. For the gearbox, an auto setting of 230, then for the individual gears we've got 3.5, 2.3, 1650, 1275, 1025 and 800 with a final drive of 3.4. For the diff, the lowest initial torque, highest acceleration, and I've got a braking sensitivity of 10. All the power upgrades, of course, and although I haven't fitted it, I would of course recommend having NOS, and obviously you want the full weight loss package. Traction control I would always recommend turning off, and many people thought, of course, when this car came out that it was going to be, as you would logically assume, the next generation NSX. Didn't really turn out that way, but to be honest, having seen the new NSX, I'm kind of glad that it didn't. Obviously a production version wouldn't have looked necessarily exactly like this, but I do still much prefer the design of the newer version. This version to me, I don't know, it just doesn't really look like a Honda. It could pass as an NSX, I guess, but it just doesn't really look like a recognisable Honda design. It could quite easily pass as something completely different from some brand new company. Not saying that it's an ugly car, by any means. I think it's a very good looking car. Kind of a shame that we can't paint it on the game. And like I said, for its power, it's an extremely fast car. It's one of the quickest cars in the game at the under 500 horsepower level. And that's not really including stuff like the light car company Rocket, because vehicles like that, it's not really fair even to compare them. It has such a massive weight and aerodynamic advantage. Whereas this car is actually around the same kind of performance as the Rocket under its own power. Some people can get the Rocket to cruise higher, I know, but generally they tend to do around the 250 region. This car does 250 as well, under its own power. And that's from a car with only a fraction more power, around 5 horsepower more than the NSX Type R. But this is 15 miles per hour quicker than the NSX Type R under its own power. That's pretty impressive performance. 250 miles per hour from under 500 horsepower is very, very good. And it's, as I said, a severely underappreciated car. I don't think I've ever seen a single person use this on GranTurismo 6. Now it is pretty expensive. It's 750 grand regardless of whether you buy the Acura or the Honda model. I chose to go for the Acura version this time because last time I bought the Honda, just to see if they were any different. As it turns out, they're not. They're exactly the same. And they're both good. So, pretty much if you are going to buy it, just buy whichever company you prefer. Overall, if you haven't tried the HSC, it's a very good car to own if you ever do come into needing a sub 500 horsepower top speed racer and don't want to go for the obvious choice of something like a Rocket or a Dome Zero. This car is very good, it handles its power and performance extremely well, and it looks good as well. It's also, as I said, exclusive because hardly anyone uses it. So if you haven't bought the HSC, I would actually recommend that you give it a go if you can spare the money. And if you're new to the channel or just found this helpful in general, feel free to hit that subscribe button to keep up with the tunes like this as soon as they come out. And as always, thanks for watching.